What's up, guys and girls? This is Tim here. Welcome back to Empyrion Galactic Survival. So you find me tootling across the landscape. Ooh, are they raptors? Are you raptors? You don't look like raptors. Look like the friendly kind. Yeah, tootling across the landscape on my motorbike. I'm just going to go and check on little Henry. Before I start, I want to say thank you so much to Madison for his latest comment, which brought some more depth to the lore of Henry. Now, I'll say I've had some ideas, but in not breaking immersion, I've discovered things which throw some disagreement, shall we say, onto Madison's interpretation of the lore of Henry. But we will come to that at a later date when the time is right. But I've come over here just to see how much material he's collected for me. Oh, you sad? What's happened? Have you run out of power? Don't want to start this now, but future Henry can run forever without power. Because he doesn't do anything. He doesn't deliver to me materials to make power, but he does it without asking for me to give him anything. So maybe that's better. Let's go check on the other one as well. I blonked another one down somewhere. Not far away. Let's go check on that one. So today is a special day, shall we say? It's the start of a special day, shall we say. So we're going to be laying the keel, as the nautical phrase goes. I have no idea which one I put him on. Straight ahead. Yeah, we're going to be plonking down the start of our capital vessel. And I have been thinking a lot about the capital vessel and umming and ahhing about the capital vessel. And I keep going back and forth. I came up with an idea the other day for what I'd like to build. And I don't want to go into too much detail of it right now as to what that's going to be. But this is going to be... The idea I've had is pretty mega in terms of... I'm not saying no one's ever done it before. But it's something which I quite like to do. However... Oh my god. It's a long way down. It's going to take a huge amount of resources. And I was thinking about it literally, as I often do, laying awake in bed last night, thinking about Empyrion spaceships. Let's top you up. You have quite a fair chunk of iron ore as well. Not as much as the miner makes, but that is still useful to say that I didn't have to really do much for it. Reality kind of started to sink in while I was thinking about it in terms of just how much time and resources. More the time I can maybe get my head around, but it's the resources side of it which I'm struggling with a little bit to build what I would ultimately like to end up with. Now that leaves me with two options. One is to do it legit and get the resources, and the second option is to spawn a lot of it in. Ah, fuck me! Not even looking. Go away, spider. We're not time. We're talking. So I'm not overly. Ooh. Cool. Okay, that answers what happens when the motorbike goes in the water. Shit, can I pick it up? Helmet. There we go. Left, shift, and F to pick up. Oops, I'll rescue it from the water. Oh, hello. Oh, I've got another pistol, by the way. This is a good time to try out my new pistol. It seems to be essentially the same thing, just it's got a scope on it. Which I'm okay with. There's one over there. Ooh, let's try out the sniper rifle. So I will come back to the capital ship. I know I'm getting distracted as always. See if I can sever its head. Ah! It's scarily close. Cool, one-shot kill with the sniper rifle. I have quite a bit of ammo. I believe. Yeah, I've made a load of ammo for this now. Yeah. So sorry. Coming back to. Ooh, what the frick just happened then? Apart from the fact that my mouse just stopped working randomly. Are we pointing in the right direction? No. Yeah, so... Oh, there we go. Now it's working again. How weird. Yeah, so back to the capital vessel. So I would like to build something mega and long-term. And so getting the resources together is going to be difficult, particularly considering the fact that large amounts of the resources that I require are not on this... are not on this planet. I would have to go to other planets, and in order to go to other planets, I believe I need the warp drive, and therefore I need a capital vessel. So it's a bit of a chicken and egg. I could build the mega thing now, mega ship now, and spawn everything in, or I can play a bit more legitimately, and in which case I would have to build a smaller capital vessel to start off with. It's just not realistic to think that I'm going to be able to build a huge capital vessel with what is available on this planet. So I've kind of leaned towards the idea of building something a little bit smaller, which is kind of in line with what I was planning in the first place anyway, but maybe just a little bit smaller, you know, space to house the vulture, to house scary ones. No, house the vulture, take the lazy boy with me, and maybe room for a little bit extra. Oh, hello. You are a raptor. And then essentially go off and plunder the solar system, galaxy, whatever you want to call it, until we end up with enough resources. Now, I may play around with building the big ship in creative mode, just because I think it's gonna only be really possible to build it in creative mode, or it's gonna be a lot less frustrating to build it in creative mode if I'm not spawning stuff in. And then either, depending on how much resources I have stored up, bringing it in legitimately via a blueprint and a factory, or spawning it in if it's going to be crazy times. Because I kind of feel like if I put in all the effort to build this ship and it takes me hours and hours and hours, why am I not using my motorbike? That's kind of penance enough without then having to go, oh no, I have to grind for hours and hours to get the resources in order to build it. So we'll see what happens. But that is for future thinking. For right now, we're going to head back to the base, and I'm going to show you, I've prepared a little area to build, or to start building the capital vessel. So we're gonna make the core, and we're gonna plonk it down. And it looks like it's just about to become night. Oh damn you! As if I wouldn't be able to go through that bush. And granted, it would have probably destroyed my face, but I would have made it through, I think. There were people lurking around the backs of my buildings. Filthy creatures. Here we are. Bodoink. Last episode, I'm not sure what you're going to see. You're either going to have seen the episode where I completed the lazy boy and took it out, or you're going to see me going out and exploring and mining out some of the other ship parts. So I actually went back to the back of the MS Titan, which we went to a few episodes ago, and the mid part it was, wasn't it? Yeah, whichever one it was. I went to the mid part and I actually dug it out with the lazy boy so I could get to some of the more materials down there. I then went and did the same at the nope, that's the Epsilon Com Center, that's the supply station. Yeah, the back part. I went and did the same and gathered up a load of stuff from there. I did an episode that I recorded, and you may see that, or you may have just seen that. I haven't done much here. I still need to go back and check out the front part. And then I saw this, TS Acura ADM. So I was like, ooh, that looks exciting. It's got 2 chevrons and everything. I kind of thought that maybe that was like a major base or something, but it actually, TS stands for Trading Station. And there's really very little I can do there. I can't even take it over and sort of break it down for the basic components because it's got an admin core, which I discovered by cheating and activating no clip. So I spent like ages trying to get through this door and thinking, what the fuck is going on? Why can't I destroy this? And then I no clip through it and realized there's an admin core on that area, which means it literally cannot be destroyed. So I could destroy it by cheating, but I didn't really feel the need to. There wasn't much there I particularly wanted. But I've still got to say, I've got the front part of the ship to go and do, and there is another comm center. So I think next episode we might go and try and annoy that comm center. I'll make up some missiles before then. Other things, I've been raiding various places. That's the back part again. There was a excavation somewhere. Here it is, yeah. Supply station, I've completely gutted that. And this, nope, not that one. There's somewhere where is an excavation site, it's like a big mine type thing. And I went and gutted that as well. So here it is down here. So yeah, so we've got a lot of resources. Just in case I didn't show you in the last episode, you can see these are all the various ship parts that I've been stealing and putting in here for my capital vessel. This is all the various guns and things like that. This is crap, and this is more small ship and hover vessel crap. And then in here, you can see I've got loads of things, loads of stuffs and things. In here, I should have even more materials, I think. Yeah, just shitloads of copper ingots, and this is where my magnesium, which I'm going to need if I need lots of rockets, or when I have loads and loads of those, which reminds me, put some more of those in, and just make these for days. I don't think I need promethium pellets for anything else. Maybe. I need to check out how to make there's these hydrogen fuel cells, which are going to be important, because I currently am producing hydrogen off in the lake. These things, fusion cells. My hope is fuel value 300. So it's twice the fuel value. Ooh, that needs pellets. So it's the same pellets, but it has hydrogen. It has twice the fuel. That's not actually much. I thought it was going to be more than twice. But anyway, enough of that. Before it gets completely dark, this is my thing. So what I've done is I've knocked out the back wall. I've come out here and I've built another advanced constructor out on this little platform so that I can use this to start making up stuff that I need. And I've made 1,000 odd blocks. Then coming out here, I've tried to extend this out as far as I can to give me as much space as possible to work with. We have this, and this is the start of my platform. So the reason I've done this is so that I can actually put the core or the start of the ship up higher than the ground, so I can then work underneath it if I want to. And these legs that stick out in every direction I will extend as needed to put more supports until the ship has its own feet and can sort of stand on its own, shall we say. So without much further ado, I think that's caught you up to where I'm at. Let's make ourselves a capital vessel core. At least if we're putting to make it inside. Just grab a couple of blocks of that just in case we need it. I may put more constructors out there if I need to at some point, but for now I feel like we have enough. No, that should do. I can find a way to process this iron ore. Just drop off these componenty bits that I have. There. Right, okay. What does it take to make a core for a capital vessel? 1 core, 1 cockpit, and 8 steel blocks, which apparently I have everything I need to make. Yeah, I literally just need to make the components, apparently. I managed to get together a few more of these. I've got 28 advanced CPUs, I've got 28 flux cores. I'm still really struggling for the other bit, whichever it is, these power coils, which need the zirconium, which is one of the materials that I mentioned I cannot get hold of on this planet, or at least I can get it from robbing people, but not in any large quantities. I managed to get enough together, which I think was 2, in order to make the advanced reactor out there, because you need them for the advanced reactor. Right, so let's plonk this down, and we've got to be really careful here that I place this right, shall we say, because unfortunately this block is not quite big enough to span out onto these 4 blocks, hence why I had to put this one in here. I'd like to get it fairly straight as well. I mean, from this perspective I have no idea, but let's go with it. Okay, seems to be on the platform. Not going to be reaching that end. Okay, no, that is on the platform. So first things first, let's go back and grab some more blocks, which I just left behind. You'll notice as well I figured out how to use the texture tool, which by figure out I mean it's about the easiest fucking thing in the world to use. I was just being actually lazy and rather saying, oh, I can't figure that out, rather than just actually taking a look at it and figuring it out myself. But essentially, is that it? No, I have it here. It works exactly the same as the colour tool, so you just pick your texture and you just paint. Just like that. And it's as easy as that. So yeah, so I like that. I'm going to be making a lot of use of that in this ship, I think. Okay, let me... Sorry, didn't mean to scream. I've stolen... One thing I have been keeping an eye out for and stealing as many as I possibly can is elevators. And I have a lot. So one of the first things I'm going to do is actually make a big elevator tower at the middle of the ship. That way I'll be able to go up high and look down on it. Because my sort of initial plan, I think, is to lay out a bit of a base state... a bit of a... you know, like a layout for it. So I'm going to make it out in almost 2D, the floor plan of the whole thing, and then build it up from there. I'm hoping I can move this core later, because this is not in any way, shape or form where I want to have this core, but I'm not sure right now whether or not it's movable, but I'm assuming I can move it later. So yeah, first thing to do is I'll first plan. This is going to be the level of the flight deck. So because I say the first thing I'm going to do is actually build the flight deck. That will just give me a concept of how big it needs this to be. Because obviously I want to be able to land the vulture in it, and I would like to have some room either side of the vulture. So in case I decide that I'm going to make something else which is bigger than the vulture. Yeah, last thing I want to do is build this entire ship and then realise, oh shit, I needed to make it bigger by a couple of blocks, which would be easy at this stage. Well, I say easy, would be less difficult at this stage, but would be very difficult once the ship is actually finished. So first mistake I'm making here is I'm not using the mirroring tool. Right, there you go, there's the plane. Can I put double planes on? No, I think I have to pick one or the other. I need to... Oh, that wasn't what I wanted. I'll need to have a look online and double check that, because if I can do 4-way mirroring, so as in putting one block there would put one over there and also over there and over there, that would be really helpful. But I don't know if that's possible. But for now, we can make use of go away information that I don't need. There we go. For now, we can at least make use of this, which will halve the time it takes to build this ship. And by halve, I mean it will still take forever. You can see, yeah, it's just doubling it up there, which is very nice. Every game like this should have that feature. I'm thinking like the flight deck's probably going to have to be 10 blocks wide. I have a couple of ideas in my head of how this is going to lay out. So you're going to be able to get into it from underneath. So it's going to have like almost like a scoopy thing, which as I land with the legs will end up sort of almost touching the floor. That's for my hover vehicles to get in and out of. So there's going to be like a lower hangar for the hover vehicles. Then there's going to be a flight decky type thing, which, I mean, it's kind of a pointless thing in a way because you don't need a runway for things, per se. But I just like the idea of having a little bit of a runway. So it's only going to be a short runway, and I think you'll probably take out... I mean, out of the nose makes sense, but then in a way it doesn't make sense because if you're flying at stuff that's shooting at you, you don't want hangar doors that they can blow off and then shoot into your ship. So I'm not sure about that. But you're going to be able to come out the top of the ship. So there's going to be a hangar door that will open and allow you to go out the top of the ship. And you'll also be able to go from the lower hangar onto the flight deck, should there ever be an emergency where I need to come in on the lower side. I don't know what that emergency would look like, but I like the idea of having that. So we're going to do it. The thing that I'm struggling with in my head right now is how I'm going to do, because obviously I want the flight deck, but I don't want to have to store my planes and ships on the flight deck. I'd like them to come in, land, and then clear. Okay, the game's starting to not like what's happening here, so I should probably put in some more supports. Yeah, I don't know how. You can make sure I attach this to the right thing. Actually, to be honest, I should probably put the legs onto the capital vessel itself. Get the angle right. I'm just going to be really careful here that I say I'm not attaching ships that I want to be a part of the base to the blocks that I want part of the base to the ship and vice versa, because then that could make it really... If I built like a huge chunk of the ship and then realised that I'd built it all onto the base and it wasn't actually part of the ship, I would cry like a baby. Yeah, so sorry, anyway, coming back. So the thing I'm struggling with is how do I make it so that I can have the flight deck, but then the ships can be parked somewhere else so they're not obscuring the flight deck. So I kind of thought you could have like a double decker, so the hangar would be above the flight deck, which is possible. I could have an area at the back where the ships kind of settle, but then you're going to have an issue. You either need to make it wide enough that ships can pass each other, or you're going to have it be a bit awkward. So, don't know. I haven't figured that out yet, but I figure, I've got to lay out a bit of a understanding of how the ship's going to look and start getting my head around that idea, and then we can start dealing with those. So, big is my answer. So I want to go and grab my little spaceship now and just see how it looks next to it. Hello, Vulture. Okay, I see like ages since I've been in you. If I had a pound for every time... No, don't say that. Ah! I forget this thing like dives dramatically when you're not level. Right. Badoink. So let's put this on here. Hey, it docked. Nice. So if this capital ship had any space, it could actually move. I could, in theory, which would get a little bit crazy. It would make more sense in space than it would when you're on a planet. But you could have the flight deck like this, and they could actually dock on the walls and park on the walls. That would be one way of... Because what I don't want, I don't want this like, okay, let's say that this is the runway here. I then have to have it like another sort of twice as or 3 times. It would end up being 3 times as wide as this in order to be able to park the ship to either side. So I don't want to do that because the ship is just going to end up being massive. So that's actually not bad for a width for the flight deck, but I'm actually going to make it 1, maybe even 2 blocks wider than that, I think. Just because, like I said, I don't want to be hemmed in. I don't want this to feel pokey, I don't want it to be like annoying. I built stuff in Space Engineers, and it always kind of felt, you start off with such great intentions, and then before you know it, you're literally just ramming ships in wherever they'll fit, just because you didn't make it big enough. So I'd rather go big at this point. It's going to be a lot longer than this, by the way. I can't really make it much longer because if I make it longer at the moment, I haven't got supports for it. Width-wise, that seems pretty good. What is... I've got a light like hovering off the bottom of that wing. I never noticed that before. I think that's pretty good for the width of the flight deck. It probably needs to be... It's going to extend out to... certainly as where it drops off towards the lake there, that way, and probably back to the trees there. And that'll be about the length. Obviously, the smaller I make this ship, the easier it's going to be to land, which is something I've got to consider that, not all the planets might have these big, flat, open plains that this one does. So I've got to consider the fact that it's going to have to land. But then part of me thinking about, well, that's kind of why I've got the little ship, because, when I go to a new planet, I'm not necessarily going to take the capital vessel down. Oh, my God, it didn't like that. I'm not necessarily going to take the capital vessel down straight away. I'm going to go down with my little ship and... and scout the place out and find a decent landing site. So I'm not too worried. It's weird. It's like, hang on. I don't know. I was gonna say it wasn't actually when I placed the block that it was having issues. It was just having issues when I was actually trying to place the block. Ooh, I hear a douchebag. Where are you, douchey? Yeah, you're there on the other side of my force field. I don't know why that made me laugh, but it did. It did, and I'm happy. So I think this design I'm making now as well, coming back to the fact that I have to go to other planets to get stuff, I feel like I can make this... oh, wow, you can just drag stuff like that. Just fell in love with this game even more. Ooh, we should probably put more supports. Yeah, I feel like I can make this ship flyable and with... inverted commas usable, and then we can go to other ships other planets, and when we're at the other planets we can then get the materials and expand the ship more. So, and I quite like, I'm just doing that because I don't know why, I just like the idea of it being symmetrical. So I quite like that idea. I like the idea of being able to oh my God, that's going to make this so much quicker, of being able to go there with a part completed ship and finishing it on other planets. So that is partly why I say the other design that I have is not going to work like that, I don't think. So I have a few boosters and things like that. I don't know if I have enough boosters, but hopefully by the time I've been to the other comm center, which I think we'll do in the next episode, and I've raided the other part of the Titan, we should, in theory at least, have enough. God almighty, this is going to be so much easier. So I think that is probably going to about do it. So I know we've not really achieved much other than just make this huge platformy thing, but it was important for me to I wanted you guys to see me do this. I wanted you to see me laying the keel, because I'm going to now be working on this off camera quite a lot. So what I'll probably be doing is bringing you back in for significant moments in the construction, shall we say, But also, like, say, next episode we'll go off and do some stuffs, because there's still other stuff to explore and do on the cure. So I want to get all that done before we move on. So I'm going to say we're going to be doing the adventure stuff together, and I'm probably not going to be doing as much of the build stuff on the camera. I kind of said, I think at one point, that I might do a fair bit of build on camera, and there will be some, but I'm not planning on doing the entire thing. Just because this is the kind of thing where I want to just take my time and think about it, and you know, not have to worry about commentating. And also, it's the kind of thing I can do when I'm tired and I want to just chill and play games, rather than when I have the energy to record. So that is my thinking for that, and I'm sure most of you could understand that. Right, but let me jump up onto here and get rid of that really annoying green. Can we just disconnect it there? I think no. You can probably click on the none. They've made it fairly clear for you. Get this out of my hand so we can see. But there you go, guys. Let me let's have a yoink. Yoink, and yoop. So there it is, the start of the capital vessel. Look at that, look how imaginative it is. It's a big grey block. I just put boosters on it and call it a day. Just literally just plonk everything. Oh my god. Oh my vertical thrusters. Do I have any? I don't really have any at the front. And I've lost a leg at the front. I feel like I may have lost stuff. This ship has taken quite a battering. What have I done? Just like landed on the front leg. That wasn't where we were meant to land. But yeah, there we go. So we have the start of our capital vessel, which I'm quite excited about. I've never built a capital vessel in this, and I don't know, I just can't wait for the day where I press the space bar and the thrusters underneath power up and we gently even lift off the ground and head up towards the heavens. Woo! Are we flying upwards? Yeah. So guys, I'm going to wrap it up there though. So I say next episode, if I remember, and I will try to remember, I will have lots of missiles. I'll have repaired the Vulture and done any sort of changes I need to do to it before we go back to battle. And we're going to go and fuck up that as a comm center. And so I'll have a look to see if there is a headquarters on this base, on this planet, because if there is, I want to do that. But anyway, as always, ideas and thoughts and feedback as to what you'd like to see on this capital vessel and what suggestions you might have. I know Madison gave me a couple of suggestions, and we are in sync, Madison. I must say, many of the suggestions you made are ones that are already in my head. So thank you for that, though. I like it when I agree. Oop, I'm dying. I'm dying. Eat my canned meat. I'm going to have to get some more food soon. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you're very much going to be here for the next one. But I've been Timmy, and this has been Empyrion Galactic Survival. Thank you so much for stopping by for the episode, and I'll see you in the next one.